Well, what happened was that second game, we got our ass kicked, or the second half. We just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
What is up, Cowboys Nation? You're to the point where all you could do, I don't know if laugh, cry, whatever it is, man, but it has been a tough weekend for your boy Mike Tag. Been a tough weekend from a little Tag, little Mikey there, and it's been a tough weekend. I don't know how the Rangers and the Knicks are doing, but I know that Falcon game, that had to have been, just a heartbreaker, and you finally think you get going, and then they lay an egg. But before we get rolling, hit that subscribe. If you're rolling in cave, make sure you hit that like, all that kind of good stuff. We'll be hopping in the chat, going to have a good time leading you up to some Monday Night Football with, I think it's the Rams and
the Dolphins.
Rams and the Dolphins. And if the Dolphins lose, this will be one of the first weekends where every team in the state of Florida lost in college and pro football. So it is a bad day to be living in. That's why I had to take the day off. I had to, like a Veterans Day, I got to take the day off to recoup after all this stuff. But let's just get some introductions going. My man, Jimmy Dee, my partner in crime. How are you doing? How was your weekend? I know it was tough with the Falcons, but what else has happened?
No, you know what? The weekend was good. Dominic, our first producer, had a couple hockey games, and there's a funny story. If we got time at the end, I'll tell you about the game yesterday. It's that time of the year up north. It's getting colder out. It's dark by 5 o'clock, so getting adjusted to that thing. But, first and foremost, thank you to all the service men and women out there. We appreciate your service, and thank you very much for that. And but, yeah, great weekend, man. No complaints. How about you guys?
No, good. And just a shout-out to my man Cuts. And I'm sure there's some more in the chat. So if I don't know any of you guys that have served, man, special thanks. Also, our guy Greg, who I do the shows with on Sunday morning. Definitely thank Greg for his service.
Mark, Camo.
Yeah, so all those guys.
Mark. SoCal.
So, Mikey, how was your weekend? With we don't want to get too deep into college football, but obviously the Canes. They broke our heart. We knew it was. We felt like the Falcons, right? It's like you feel really good. You're getting things going, and then just like Cristobal, just like the coaches do, you get the leg. They sweep the leg, get the rug pulled from under you, every way you want to put it, and it was just a bad day of football for our Hurricanes.
Well, I wasn't really I was at work, so I was like keeping up with like ESPN, and I was just watching. Man, it was bad. I had to go to the bathroom a couple times and watch get YouTube TV going.
Yeah. Well, I watched it. It wasn't great. It was as bad as a defensive performance. And we've talked about it with colleges. The Miami Canes have been, they've been playing with fire. They've been playing with fire with their defense. And, they've been putting all the pressure. They remind me a lot of the Cowboys of 23. Hopefully the end isn't the same, but they remind me of the Cowboys at 23, where if the offense isn't clicking and rolling, the defense doesn't hold their end of the bargain, and they just played really, really bad. But at the end of the day, they're exactly where they were at the beginning of the week. They win their last two games. They're in the ACC title. They win that. They're going to be a top 4 seed in the playoffs. So this maybe is a wake-up call that, teams need sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy, sometimes maybe this is a wake-up call for your Falcons. Maybe the Falcons
it is.
will wake up call.
I would have thought Seattle was a wake-up call.
So, but getting the college going, they'll have the playoff thing out. College, I love college because it's just changing. It's fluid. Now with the playoff system, everything is changing so much, and it's making a lot of fun. Plus, with the Cowboys sucking, it gives me something else to watch and look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
My Canes got to get back on track. Otherwise, this football season is going to be total hell. So I feel good. The only thing concerning with the Canes is sometimes they get a little funky with the they let things happen. And I know Ultra Texas won. They beat the same team that we dog walked in their stadium. So I don't know if you jump up and down and do somersaults for that win. If you do, then we got to too.
With the third string quarterback, by the way. with their third string quarterback. They can have that win. We beat them when they were healthy.
Absolutely. And honestly, college football it's parity down because of the transfer portals level the playing field. You have a lot of just average to good football teams. Any team can beat anyone on a given Sunday. So you got Texas, you got Alabama, you get these guys going into playoffs. It's going to be a coin flip. It's going to be who's the best team that day. It's like the NFL, the finality of it. It's going to be good. I know, Jimmy,
I don't know much about college football.
But I'm telling you, you might enjoy it with the playoffs now that have expanded. It's actually it makes
You'll love the atmospheres of it.
Yeah, the atmosphere is obviously great. So.
That and the transfer portal I know made the biggest difference. That and the where they're getting paid. I always forget the name of it. Whatever the thing is where they're getting NIL. That's what it is. Yeah. So
yeah. Who did Texas lose to? I forgot. I know they lost.
They lost to Georgia.
Yeah.
And I think that's their only loss.
No, I thought they lost to. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I know they struggled against Vanderbilt. My God,
they did struggle against Vanderbilt, but I feel like every SEC team.
They're all a bunch of average teams. I told you that they're all a bunch of average teams. But
cowards.
Anyway, but it'll be good. But we gotta, we're going down. Mikey and I. That's what he's out. We're heading down to see the Jake Paul Tyson fight. I know, Jimmy, you got to be pumped up for that.
Oh, that's gonna be great, man.
It's gonna be fun. And I hate to really, because you might jump on a plane, Jimmy. I don't know if you're going to when I'm telling you this news. They have a tailgate party. I just got word on the phone.
Yeah.
The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, is hosting a tailgate party right outside the stadium. And I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's a pregame party. So we're gonna look into that and see if the Nature's there. We might have to go stop by to see the Nature Boys.
With the Nature Boy, you're gonna be partying all night long at AT&T. Actually, we partied all night long at AT&T a month and a half ago.
Oh, yeah.
I have vague recollections.
Do you want to know the craziest thing, Jimmy, about that? What? Do you know the game that you were at? Now, think about this. The game that you were at was the last time the Dallas Cowboys scored a touchdown at home.
Oh, geez. And that's that sucks. I feel badly. I feel badly for you guys. You guys, I don't know. Man.
They have been down. They have been down 20 points or more in every home game, the last 5 home games in a row.
Well, and I mean, the kick in the nuts was yesterday when CD was open, gets sun glare, drops a wide open. That's a different ball game. Maybe it still ends up being a loss, but I mean, at that point, it would have been 10-7, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, something like that.
That's a different animal.
Well, Jerry don't want to put the curtains. He's opening up the curtains. He don't want to put the curtains up.
He'll put the curtains up for a WWE event, though.
Oh yeah, no, they put the curtains up there. They even had a sunblock for Mike McCarthy in his press conference. He joked about it. They put a sunblock to get the glare out of them from that stadium. And,
what?
It's so stupid.
Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and close the curtains.
Yeah, I mean,
you done with it.
Back there opening the curtains like that with things going on. So, but no, it was the game kind of went as expected. Dallas, obviously, no offense. I mean, no offense at all. The defense. I give the defense credit. The defense played well, especially early on. Micah Parsons, right? There's a reason why Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players. He gets 2 sacks. He gets a forced fumble. Turnovers are great. Hurts was back to his old ways early on. He threw an interception in the end zone to Diggs. Everything was looking good. Overshown with 2 sacks. But when your quarterback throws for how many yards he throw for Mikey? 45 yards, our starting quarterback.
48.
48 yards, average about 2 yards of completion. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do, but you got a real good taste. Well, I try to tell people, you guys want to run quarterbacks out of town. You got a real good taste of what happens when you don't have a quarterback, man. And it can make life very difficult and very hard.
Well, why you guys aren't starting Trey Lance is beyond me. I don't understand. That makes no sense whatsoever. Why'd you pick that guy? Kind of like Dalvin Cook. Why did you pick him up for?
Yeah.
You got nothing to lose.
We'll never know, man.
Well, I mean, the thing with Trey Lance, I don't know if he's any good. I don't know if he's going to be any better, but the way I think of it is he's got a higher ceiling. I mean, Cooper Rush has been in the league. And if you've got a guy that's been in the league this long and you're afraid to throw more than 5 yards, then and you just keep dinking. I mean, he shouldn't be in there. Throw Trey Lance in there. If you get beat, who gives two shits? I mean,
Right.
it's done anyway. But maybe he's got some upside. Maybe he can get something going with his legs. Maybe you just never know. But it was, I mean, that was just a pathetic showing. And again, the defense has been depleted. The defense has their injuries, but they played hard. I mean, Jalen Hurts had 200 yards passing. Saquon Barkley, I don't know if he had 100 yards. He had 30 yards in the first half. I think he might have had 37 in the second half, something like that. I mean, Barkley, their offense did not like explode. Now, they didn't have to. You get 5 turnovers. It makes life
No,
easy.
yeah, they really didn't even have to.
But it wasn't, it was not this unbelievable. I thought they were just going to throw for, I didn't think they'd throw. I thought they'd run for 300 yards. But I just thought it was going to be an absolute, beatdown. And their offense didn't look as good. Now I'll say this as we're going to get into the roundup. We'll get into the roundup.
Yeah.
The Commanders lost to the Steelers. Now I'm on record. This might win me some love with Carl and some of these other. I think the Eagles are going to smoke them Thursday. I do not believe in the Commanders, and I'm not dogging them, and I get a lot of heat for it. Their defense is bad. Their run defense is bad. Their run defense is worse than ours. And people can say, "Oh no, they're not." Go look at the numbers. Their yards per carry that they average giving up is worse than ours. Don't look at all the yards. Look and go watch the games. The Giants 164 yards in a game, 120 yards in another game, averaging almost 6 yards a carry. Their run defense. If the Eagles are smart, they run the ball against them because even Pittsburgh, when they were running with success. So it's going to be, it's the Eagles division for the taking. I mean, they would have to implode and have a lot of inner turmoil to lose the division to the Commanders.
That's when you got to tell them stats. Look at the stats. I mean, at the end of the day.
All right, Chuck, wait a minute, man, Chuck, go look it up. Go look at the run defense and go look at the yards they give up. Don't come on here with go look it up where they're passing. Their passer rating that they give up is worse than Dallas. Their yards per carry on their defense is worse than Dallas. And they have played worse teams than Dallas. Go look at what the Giants did to that rush defense. They ran all over them. 164 yards in one game. 110 yards in another game. 6 yards a carry. You guys can get all mad and sit there and say, no, they're not. They are. And that's saying something because the Dallas defense sucks. Yep. I'm telling you, it is bad. And you don't want to believe it? Go watch.
Chuck, Chuck, but the thing is...
you watch the football. I watched the Pittsburgh Steelers go up and down the goddamn field with some no-name receivers beating the hell out of them. I watched the Chicago Bears with 38 yards of passing that should have beat them if it wasn't for our guy from the U screwing it up. The Washington, who'd they beat? Who did they – give me some teams.
Not Tyreek.
Jesus God. Give me a break. They stink. They're going to get proven on Thursday. They're going to beat – Eagles are going to beat their ass. Watch. And if I'm wrong, come on here and tell me I'm wrong.
And not for nothing with Washington. I mean, if they – remember, they got lucky because of that fake punt on the 15-yard line where the Pittsburgh gunner dropped the ball wide open. So Washington had a gift wrap to him for the first touchdown yesterday.
Oh, my God.
Washington
beat the Giants in a game where the Giants scored 3 touchdowns, but they had no kicker because he got hurt. And Washington couldn't even get a touchdown. They couldn't score a touchdown against the New York Giants. I mean, are we serious? Are we talking about the Giants that I just saw, lose to the Panthers, and lose to all these other teams? I mean, made our performance look good. Are we talking about those Giants, Jimmy? What Giants are we talking about? We're talking about
the woeful performance yesterday. Give me a break. I agree with you on that. And, we got Washington later this season. Mark, we got a super chat.
We love Mark. Aloha, my man.
Aloha. Aloha, Mr. Hand.
What did he say? On the O, we have a quarterback, wide receiver, guard. On D, we have an aging DN, Micah Parsons, overshoot. 2 cornerbacks and everyone else. Huge drop-off. Yeah, well, I don't really know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with all that. I don't. I think they got a good center. I think they got a good young center. I think they got a good young tackle. I just think he obviously needs more experience, and he hasn't had a horrible year, but he hadn't had a Pro Bowl year. I think they definitely need wide receiver help. I'll give you that, my man. On defense, I think both their cornerbacks are still in their prime. I think obviously Overshown is a superstar in the making. Micah is obviously one of the best defensive players. Listen, the Cowboys. I mean, I love their fans, but we just got to be real a minute. You're not going to have an all-pro at every position. It just don't work that way. Go look at the Eagles. Go look at the Eagles' offensive line, or go look at Washington's offensive line. Go look at the Chiefs' offense. It's not like you're going to get all pros at every position. What the Dallas Cowboys don't have, my man Mark, is they ain't got no dogs. They don't have enough dogs. They don't have blue-collar, mid-tier guys that just lunch pail guys that just want to knock people out, like that hit that Miami did on the Georgia Tech. They don't have those kind of guys, right? That's what you're missing. I mean, Jimmy, think about your team. Do you have a bunch of all pros all over the place?
No, we do not.
Oh,
I'm telling you, I was thinking about this yesterday when I was watching Nate Landman. He's a dog. He's a second stringer. But when he's out there, he's taking care of his business. He's the one who stopped that 4th and 2 yesterday. You got to have dogs. I agree with you.
And Overshown is a dog. Overshown is the. I mean, I would say he's the second, right? Mikey's second best defensive player.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah. So no, that's what Curtis is saying. They ain't got no dogs.
Well, the only thing that and again, go look at those Cowboys Super Bowl teams. The Dallas Cowboys had talk about, we don't have this. They had the number 1 defense in the NFL in '92, and they had 0 Pro Bowlers. Back when Pro Bowls mattered, not like now. Guys make the Pro Bowl. They had 0 Pro Bowlers that year on defense. You need dogs, but they came in waves, and a lot of guys people don't remember. Jimmy Jones, Russell Maryland. You had Tony Tolbert, Tony Casillas, Chad Hannings. I mean, you brought these guys in waves. They weren't household names. They weren't all pros. They're not Hall of Famers. I mean, Charles Haley, is the only. Is there any other Hall of Famer on the Cowboys defense from the 90s? I don't count Dion, but I think Charles Haley's like the only Hall of Famer on that team. So you're not going to be littered with all pros. They need some dogs. Yeah. But and that's what it is, and I'm not. The D line is not good. We said they weren't good, my man Mark. I agree with you. The defensive tackles are terrible, and
it's sad to watch. To be honest, it Hurts had all day to throw. We couldn't get any pressure in the second half. So
yeah.
So Edgar's got a question, Mike.
He's going to ask me a question.
He's gonna actually question. Tag got a question for you with all this coach talk. I don't see us getting any of these up and coming offensive coordinators or head coaches that will bring culture. Dion ain't coming no way, but looking ahead to hoop.
Well,
hopefully not Dion.
Yeah, here's the thing. I love Dion. I think he's funny. He's never going to coach in the NFL. He's not an NFL. He's not an NFL. He would not be able to put up with the NFL players today. In college, he could bring his own luggage. When he went to Colorado, what did he tell those guys? I got my Louis. I got, my luggage. You guys get the hell out of here because the NFL don't work that way. Like where he goes, you got salary cap, you got restrictions, you got this, you got that. You got players making $50 million a year, $35 million a year. They ain't getting rid of them. So Dion is best served in college because you can roll through players. You got the NIL, you can opt out, you can bring guys in. And Dion's message resonates with 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. Some, 35-year-old dude is, I don't know if he's going to dig in that. Plus, to be honest with you, and call me old-fashioned, I just want a football team. I want a team.
I'm sick of the media, man.
Right? You want the Chiefs football. I want to be like the Chiefs. They're never on Sports Center. They're never talked about, but they just win Super Bowls year after year.
They're on TMZ every day.
Yeah. And to your point of a young coordinator, everyone would love to get Ben Johnson. Everyone would love to get, someone from that, a tree of Shanahan or something like that. The problem is our man Mike McCarthy's making $5 million a year. These guys are commanding upwards of $20 million. So is Jerry going to dig in his pocket to pay these coaches and give them the total control to get their coordinators their way, not Jerry's way? And I'm not going to say the player's name, but I've been having a conversation with a former player that played with the Cowboys. We're going back and forth. What's wrong with this team? Can I get my glasses on?
Yes.
Old man glasses.
And in the meantime, what I'm going to say is this too. There ain't no way that we love we love prime time. We love Deion Sanders. He's our era. These guys making all this money, they're not going to let him big time them. They don't care who he is. They're not going to be talked to like he's talking to the college players. They're just not going to have it. So that ain't going to work.
No.
Yeah, not to mention the media attention we would get.
Oh, but Jerry
We
would
already
like
get enough of it, man.
Exactly.
Jerry would like that. Now, let me give you that. Jerry's not letting these coaches control the staff or the players. It is what it is. He's not changing. Too much ego, and it's getting worse. Can't be critical about himself like many of us can be. So, I mean, that's coming from a former player. You know what I mean? It doesn't give you a lot of hope that things will change. And I tell you, I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. But my son and I, we're going to the fight Friday night. We're going to go see Tyson. We're going to sit through the Texans game. Obviously, we're going. We were supposed to go Thanksgiving, and it's like, hey, do we really want to pay airfare and do all that stuff to go down to the game? Let's just sell the tickets and use that money to get some nice Tyson seats. That's what the man wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
That's how you take control of the match. That's how you take control.
But I mean, it's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate because I went to 9 games last year. I love going to Cowboy. I love the whole experience, and I do. But it gets to a point where it's like, dude, that product that you put on the field on Sunday, that's what you're asking people to pay thousands of dollars for their time and hard-earned money and this and that. It's hard to justify when you got a family. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror sitting there saying dropping, $10,000 over a season to go to some football games and see Cooper Rush, throwing for 40 yards. Get the hell out of here. So we got
Mark. It's been a rough season.
It has.
I mean, it's not that we lose. I mean, it's not that we lose games. It's what happens after we lose that gets me so mad. Yeah. Like with the stuff Jerry Jones says, especially yesterday. Oh my God, almost lost it yesterday. And of course, they're going to twist Micah's words into making him out to be the bad guy. It's just I can't even watch ESPN now because
don't make him out to be the bad guy. He just went to play a football game till Comrade Big Mouth stepped in.
And Parcells, I mean, those are facts. I mean, Kellen Moore was appointed to Mike McCarthy. Jason Garrett was hired before Wade Phillips was hired as the head coach. Jerry Jones dictates the coaching staff. When Barry Switzer came on, now Barry Switzer knew better, but all those years even back, Chan Gailey, go through the list, Dave Campo, Jerry Jones did the staff. I mean, if you don't want to believe it, I mean that's a fact. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. The only coach that he didn't do that to was Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells brought in his coaching guys. He brought in his players because he had you remember Jimmy, you're Mikey, you don't remember probably so much. Remember the Parcells guys? It was always Richie Anderson, Dave Campbell. Yes. It was always the same guy. Wherever Bill Parcells went, there was a core group of guys that they went wherever he ended up going. And they were always called Parcells guys. That's what Parcells was able to do and change the culture. He was able to change the culture of this team and had them winning again. I mean, he had them in the playoffs in their first year with Quincy Carter and Troy Hambrick as your quarterback and running back duo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, we have a GM that does not manage the cap, waits too long to sign our players.
It
costs
terrible,
money,
man.
Won't sign free agents. You need to have the run game really. No, I agree, Mark. Everything you say is. Can anyone argue with that?
Hey, Mark, you don't have a GM. You have an owner who's out of control. That's what you have. He's no GM. And I said it the last few weeks, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I feel badly. But not only should, for the last 10, 15 years, should he not have been general managing the team, he's losing it. I mean, let's be honest. You can see when he's talking, he's losing it. He's getting older. And he shouldn't have been GMing in the first place. And now he really shouldn't be in charge.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know why he's still in charge, but
because he owns
I
the
never
team.
understand with the boys. I'll never understand.
Yeah, you're in purgatory, man. I told you to jump ship a few years ago. You didn't want to listen to me. I gave you an up. As soon as
I got to
you turned
ride
18,
with my team.
You turned 18. I gave you a chance to get out of here.
Ultra.
I told you.
That's still. I mean,
Super Bowls. It's been 30 freaking years, man. I mean, we
Ultra,
can't keep. Look,
man.
I love
90s, man.
I love talking about that era too, but. I mean, we got it. Come on, man, Ultra. You can't still be hanging on that. That's okay.
I haven't even seen him get into a championship game.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ultra, it's apples and oranges. We made it to the Super Bowl. It's stupid coaching. It's Kyle Shanahan with horrible play calls in the second half that cost us a Super Bowl.
Damn
okay?
right it was.
So get out of here.
Hey, Quinn allowed it to happen. If I was Quinn, I would have yoked him up. I would have yoked his ass up.
I agree. Really? Hey, you know what? I'm going to take control here. We're going to start running the ball.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about this stuff now. Let's get into some, the Cowboys, unfortunately, they're just not, they're done. Put the fork in. So let's talk about some NFC leaders. And what we want to talk about and get you guys in the chat is contenders and pretenders. So we're going to do the NFC, then we're going to bring Uncle Cheech in, then we're going to flip to the AFC. So the NFC leaders, and I want to give this to you guys, and Jimmy, you go first. Mikey, give me your thoughts on contenders, pretenders, and then in the chat, you let me know. You've got the Lions, Cardinals, Falcons, and Eagles all leading their division. So next up in the playoff bracket would be Vikings, Commanders, and Packers. So that's your playoffs. Do you see any team dropping out? And would you see any of these teams moving up? Rams, 49ers, Bears, Seahawks, or Buccaneers?
Well, okay. I'm going to start because, Chuck, first of all, called me out on the Falcons. Look, we should have learned from Seattle a few weeks ago when they worked us. Yesterday was a bad game. Now, look, Saints are a division team. It's no excuse. We still should have won in there and won yesterday. Division team, it's going to be a tough game. Koo misses 2 field goals. Horrible penalties. Just some big mistakes. Kirk Cousins late in the game with a mistake. We're going to win our division. We're going to be fine. So Chuck, to your point, look, we're a good team. The thing that concerns me the most is, man, when our offense is on, it's on. But that 20% of the time that we're not in sync, we're terrible. So that's the thing that bothers me. We need consistency at offense, not 80% of the time, but 100% of the time. I'm okay with our defense. Now, you talk about, I don't see, man, I don't know. Tampa Bay is injured. I don't see them coming up. San Francisco, look, they got CMC back yesterday. They just, skated by barely in Tampa Bay yesterday, but they won. So they took care of their business. They're a maybe. They're getting players back. Arizona, man, they're no joke. I mean, think about it. They blew a big lead against Buffalo in week 1, or they'd be in a game ahead right now, right?
Yeah.
So they're legit. They're scoring points. They're playing great. Philly, I hate to say it, right now, they're winning the East. I don't see Washington winning the East. I see Washington probably sneaking up a wild card. So you and I disagree a little bit on that, Mike Tag. Detroit, Greg has been saying it each week. I think they're going to be tough to beat. Very difficult to beat. They're the cream of the crop right now. And after, coming down big time last night to win that game, I mean, they showed they can play from behind.
How the hell did they win a game with 5 interceptions? I mean,
5 interceptions.
Get the Bills, but I mean, they were just getting beat, and they did it. So, I get it. Mikey, do you have anything to add? Anything that you would change as far as your contenders? These are your contenders right now. The one I gave you. Do you see any of them turning into a pretender?
I could see the Cardinals maybe because the 49ers getting CMC back. I think that just adds a lot of value. And I think the 49ers will get it going at some point. It's just when. And they just beat the Bucs, who are a tough team. They are a tough team to be on the road. So, but my pretender is definitely the Falcons. No offense, Jimmy. But they're inconsistent. You don't know which Falcons team you're going to get. You're either going to get a really good Falcons team or you're going to get a really average Falcons team. And for my contenders, I think the Lions win the NFC hands down.
Yeah.
To throw 5 picks, down 23-7, to come back and win, that's a lot.
They've got a lot. I mean, they got a strong. They're mentally tough. I mean, they talk about grit. I mean, that's the word they're using a lot now.
It's like good coach.
Yeah, I mean, they do.
Change everything for the Lions.
Culture, right? It's culture.
Stock now, look at them, top of the NFC.
And Chuck, you got a good point there. I disagree with both you and Mikey Schefter about the Falcons, but the Viking stock is going down. They barely beat a Mac Jones-led Jaguars team yesterday. 12-7, some crap like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're going to have
Frankie, good morning.
What's up, Frankie? I'll be seeing you soon, my man. I need to check and see if Frankie might be interested in going to a basketball game Saturday. We're thinking about hitting the Mavericks and San Antonio Spurs are in town Saturday. We just might make this a sports week.
You should, man. Remember when we went to the Rangers game a couple years ago? That's fun. You got to parlay.
Yeah, we're thinking it was one of them, so we'll see. But, I think obviously the Lions are the cream of the crop. I think they're going to win their division. I think the Eagles will win their division. I think the Falcons are going to win their division. I think I think the Buccaneers, I live in Tampa. I just think they're getting hit with some injuries. They're I love the grind that they have. I just don't think it'll be enough. I think the Cardinals are going to be one of those teams that fall to the wayside. And I'm telling you that we're going to see tonight, see if they make a fool out of me. The two teams out of the West are who I'd watch, and that's the Rams and the 49ers. I think the Rams I think one of them teams will win the division. That'll get rid of the Cardinals. And I think the other one is going to succeed the Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to fall a little bit. The only way that I think the Commanders can stay in it and end up getting in the playoffs is they're probably going to be a benefactor of they haven't played Cowboys. Cowboys are going to be banged up. They'll probably end up beating them twice. So I didn't think they'd beat them twice yet. So that could flip the script, and maybe one of these two teams aren't going to be able to catch in the wild card. But I think you're going to see the 49ers and the Lions in the NFC Championship again. And I know nobody probably wants to see it. We all love to see some fresh blood in there. But to me, when the 49ers are rolling and they get CMC going, and when he gets, they're going to be a tough team. But I think the Lions end up taking it in the NFC. I think it's going to be down to those two.
I mean, they got Juwan Jennings back too, so that they're tough. Again, look, I just say, you and I have said it all along, Mike Tag, make the playoffs and anything can happen. You don't know what's going to happen. You either, play lights out, the other team has a bad day, the other team has injuries. So I just want to get in, and that's all I care about. We'll go from there.
Yeah, and ask Chuck. Yeah, Chuck, you got a question. The most disappointing team in the NFL right now. Just off the top of my head, I'll just name one, and you said the Jaguars to me.
Dolphins,
disappointing.
Jets,
Dolphins for you. Jets,
Dolphins, and Jets. Yes,
Dolphins. So there's three different
Jets.
teams, all in the AFC. I don't know who. Who are you talking about? Who's my man talking about? I see the Jets on there a lot from other people. I don't know who Chuck was talking about the Jets as well. No, Jets have been absolutely disappointing. And probably more. I don't know if it's more so than the Cowboys, but as bad. I mean, definitely as much because I think you thought more of them, with Aaron Rodgers, and it just seems like they're just
and they get Devontae Adams
and they
with
still
Garrett Wilson, and they still can't do anything.
And they're still a disgrace to the sport.
But that goes down to culture, right? Does that go down to the culture? We talk about culture and a lot of people, some people think it's all BS, but I think your mindset, especially in team sports and this kind of, I think it plays a big factor. But
once they fire the coach, I knew it was.
Yeah, and you get rid of the coach.
Well, but look at the Dolphins too. When they got, and I know we're kind of drifting over to the AFC a little bit. When Tua came back, and again, I think for his own health as a human being, they should be thinking twice about that. But that's been a different team the last two games. They lost the last two games, but they're both close. One of them against Buffalo. Yeah. They're a different team with him. So let's see what happens tonight against the Rams.
Well, let's do this because, Uncle Cheech, is get late for Uncle Cheech. You need to be saying, I don't want to get in trouble. So we are going to go to the AFC, but let's go ahead and let's get Uncle Cheech in the house, and let's see where's Uncle Cheech these days? Oh, you just got me. So you don't get everyone. There we go. We get everyone else. Let's get on here. Uncle Cheech, what is the good word, my man? There, we found you. You had another hot week.
Cheech.
Il Migliore.
What's going on?
Oh,
had a good week this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Had a good week. 3-1. They all lost, but 3 covered.
That's what it's all about.
That's all that matters.
That's all.
Carbonucci had a rough week.
Lock of the week one also.
See, thanks, Uncle Cheech. I can pay my insurance this week.
I had the whale called me in the middle of the night. Game was playing. My lock was Western Kentucky against New Mexico State. Third quarter was 24-21. New Mexico State was losing, and the other team jumped ahead by 20 with about 5 minutes left. He called me up bitching, and then New Mexico State scored. He ended up covering, made 10 large.
Well, I hope he's giving you is he giving you some sort of commission? Is he giving you
He's giving me a little kickback.
All right.
A box of stogies.
All right. Hopefully it's in a brown paper bag. It's not in anything that's going to be traced.
Cuban from South, he's in South Florida, he's got all the connections.
Oh, yeah. No. We've partied with him. We've seen the man in action. I mean, there's nothing better than going and Mikey turns 21 in July. He's already said he's got to go down to the whale. He wants to see the man work himself, maybe pick up.
I want to see him in action.
He's the man.
Big shot.
All right, well, let's get at it. And I don't want to. I know there'll be an upset person here on the panel, and I hate to do. I warned you about doing this kind of stuff. It upsets me. But let's go with your first game. Your first game, you got Sam Houston. Not the Sam Houston, but the college Sam Houston at Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State getting 14. You're taking the home underdog. Small schools, home underdog. The formula's been working. You've been hot. What do you see with this game?
Kennesaw State, I picked 2 weeks ago. I think they were 18-point dog. The team they played was undefeated. Kennesaw State won outright.
No, you're riding the hot hand.
Riding
the hot hand. I like it. And the next one, which I didn't know, and give Mikey's and Jimmy's comment on this. I didn't know these two teams are playing, so it might get a little heated on some of our group chats. But we got Atlanta, going to Denver, and Uncle Cheech, you're taking Denver, laying 1.5. You don't think Atlanta's going to get it done?
No.
Oh,
they're going to be on the road. They're on the road. Denver was on the road yesterday. He's done a hell of a job with that team. They got a stout defense. And I think their defense is better than Atlanta's offense. So I think Denver wins this game outright.
I have to disagree with my Uncle Cheech. I have to disagree with my Uncle Cheech.
What do you think?
I can't show the disrespect. I can't show the disrespect, but I have to disagree.
What do you think on that one?
You're still going to win the division. You're just going to lose this game. I picked you to win the division, but you're not going to win this game.
Mikey, what do you got on this game?
I think I have to agree with this because Denver's been playing tough. Their defense is tough to score on. They held the Chiefs to – I mean, they should have won. I mean, take away that blocked field goal. They won that game.
Yeah,
they held the Chiefs to 16 at home. I mean, I think I have to agree with this. This is a good pick. I might have to tell the whale to put this on his parlay.
My point is this.
I think a road game, too, now for them.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but that was
in Arrowhead.
Deflating loss. Right, we lost. We lost to a division. That was the deflating loss. They had that game, and they look. Shit happened.
They had their game too.
It was blocked. It was we were playing. I mean, look, fair enough. We could have kicked the field, but they were in field goal range. Chip shot, and he missed it.
Jimmy, here's the problem though. The Saints fire their coach, and the Saints go in there and steamroll y'all.
It's 20-17.
They steamrolled
20-17. But the steamroll.
Jimmy,
hold on.
Okay, whoa. First of all, let's talk about the
First of all, new coach. You let a new coach go in there, win in his first game as a coach against this great Falcons team that's supposed to be so good, and y'all choked. Where's Kirk Cousins at?
It's bookends. We handed them their first loss of their losing streak, and we ended their losing streak. It's a division rival. Stuff is going to happen. We lost the game. I'm pissed. I'm not happy. I told you guys, just before we got on, I was pissed off. Such is life. We move on and win this week. And I respect Denver. I respect Denver. I'm not saying that, but
I gotta ask Uncle because he's talking about steamroll. Who got steamrolled? Who do you think would get steamrolled worse? The Atlanta Falcons in Denver or the great Uncle Dan? Who do you think? Did they get steamrolled Did Atlanta get steamrolled like Uncle Dan got steamrolled, or is it worse or not as bad?
What do you mean Uncle Dan got steamrolled?
Never mind. It was a joke. It was an inside joke. I thought you'd catch it, but never mind.
No.
And then we've got your upset of the week. We got Penn State and we got Purdue. You remember Dominic talked about someone getting steamrolled. That was the joke, but you didn't get it. Penn State at Purdue.
That Uncle Dan.
I didn't want to. I'm trying to use name. I'm trying to protect the innocent. Penn State at Purdue. I heard Carmenuch. This was one of his picks. He was hot on. So Penn State, Purdue getting 28.5. That's so many points in Big Ten football.
At home too.
That'd be hard to pass up.
A good pick. I'll take a shot on that too.
Yeah.
Honestly, Penn
28.5 at home. What do you got to lose?
Yeah. And I there's not much you could say on that. The next one is Detroit given 13 at home against the Jaguars without, obviously, Trevor Lawrence had played like crap anyway, but Mac Jones is the quarterback. I mean, this all day. He will
never give a heavy favor for an NFL game.
That is. I
never get this many points. But this time I will.
Yeah.
Jaguars are atrocious. Detroit, I went to sleep last night. I figured, hey, through 5 interceptions, they're ahead by 2 scores, fourth quarter. And I get up this morning and they win the game.
Oh, I couldn't believe it.
I agree with you.
I couldn't believe it either.
Yeah. Crop in the league today.
Yeah. Crazy.
No, you don't know what happens tomorrow, but today.
That game was a cure for insomnia last night when I went to bed and then I woke up.
No, they'll probably be waving the black flag.
You know what happens? Somebody could get their leg broken or something. Things like that happen. Quarterback, leg broken.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the Carmenuch and Mikey or anyone. If you got, I don't want to speak for Carmenuch, but he's got a couple upset specials. Tennessee getting 9 at Georgia. Georgia hadn't been playing that great, very shaky. And you got the Colts. The Colts getting 3.5 at the Jets. We just talked about the Jets struggling. So, what do you think? Would you touch any of these bets if you were Uncle Cheech? What do you think?
I like the Colts and the Jets, even though they got quarterback at my age.
Yeah.
Playing. Let me tell you, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I'd hang it up at the end of the season. He's not the same since the injury. Terrible. They're playing. It's just terrible. Injuries could do it to you. I used to follow baseball a lot when I was a kid. There was a ball player in the 30s, Dizzy Dean. He was top man in the league. Won 30 games, couple World Series. He gets hit with a line drive in the toe. Was never the same after that. Never the same. Same with Aaron Rodgers. He's done.
Do you think? But did that happen to Minnie Minoso? Was he ever the same?
Minnie Minoso. You never heard of Dizzy Dean? What do you got?
I know Dizzy Dean.
Well, I didn't know.
30s.
Well, I didn't know you saw him live.
He got hit in the toe by a line drive, and it was never the same. That's the point. Aaron Rodgers was never out for a season before this year. Was he?
No.
He's finished. He's through. He's washed up.
Are you saying Aaron Rodgers is how you say it has been?
It has been.
Yes.
It has been now. That team ain't going nowhere. The only one going somewhere is the coach.
No, yeah, the coach already. He gone. So
he already went somewhere, didn't he?
Yeah, he got his walking papers. He got the
ozone. He got the old ozone.
Aaron Rodgers got the diamond. He got the gate.
He got the gate. Right.
All right. Anyway, anything else going on?
My Hurricanes this week.
I didn't want to bring that up to you. What do you think? Any rebound?
Coaching questionable, and the quarterback holds the ball too long. I knew this was going to happen sooner or later. He tried to make something happen to hold the ball too long. If he didn't hold it that long, he could have threw it away instead of fumbling.
Yeah.
Still had time to get down there.
Yeah.
As quick as our offense scored. It was a disgrace.
I don't know what it is with Georgia
alive,
Tech.
Though.
We just
still alive
struggle against Georgia Tech.
What'd you say, Mike? Struggle against what?
I said we always struggle against Georgia Tech. I don't know why. It's
last year,
three
that
straight
was
years
a-
we lost to Georgia Tech.
Last year with an idiotic play call by the coach.
Hey,
That's why we lost.
That was a dumb play call.
hey,
SoCal.
SoCal's showing
I
disrespect.
want first of all,
SoCal's a fan of USC,
SoCal.
probably the shittiest team in the country.
lost to
What the hell is he
Maryland.
talking about?
Maryland.
Talking about frauds, this shitty ass team. They can't
You
even
guys
beat
been frauds
the
for
school of the
4
blind.
years.
They got beat by a Division IIA team. My high school team went over there and played them last Saturday, slapped them around the field in that dump they call a stadium. What are you talking about?
But honestly, though,
And my buddy from New York was over
Dump.
here
That's
too.
what SoCal is.
honestly,
One of my old
the
friends
Canes
from New
needed
York was
this.
over here watching. Bachagaloo.
Bachagaloo, yeah, he
Oh,
went
really?
half. Yeah. No,
the
I did.
Canes needed
You got.
this. I
gotta-
think
Wait,
they're going
Mikey?
to bounce back from this. The
Yeah.
Canes needed this. They're going to.
Yeah.
They're going to bounce back from this. I agree.
Yes.
I have full belief in this team.
Well,
USC would not beat the U. SoCal.
Hey, USC couldn't beat my dinghy.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
That's the worst college program. They've overpaid for a coach, paid him all that money. Just to, you think that my man down in A&M stole money? That dude stole all that money at USC. Didn't even have to wear a mask for it. I mean, the worst freaking. What a stupid ass hire that was. What a dumb
Lord.
college. I mean, it's no wonder they didn't. Is that where O.J. Simpson went to? I mean, it make no wonder about that. Give me a break. Dumb. I mean,
They couldn't beat the SC LSU Bulldogs.
They'd lose to
SC LSU.
teams. I think
They
Fresno
lost
State.
to Minnesota. They lost to Minnesota too.
It'll be like this.
There was a time, Lincoln Riley. That's his name. There was a time that they're like, "Oh, Dallas has got to get Lincoln Riley. He's this amazing coach. He goes to California. You know what he's doing? He's out there getting the hookers. He don't care about football no more. He got his money. He's living the California lifestyle, man. He give two shits about that team. So, anyway.
Ultra, you got to stop sleeping on the Georgia Tech. That triple option is
Well, they
so
didn't
good
run
for
it. They didn't run a triple option. They just ran bullshit.
ran it
Because,
out.
Let a team
But
run
people
for
want to forget.
250 yards.
yeah.
People want to forget Georgia Tech owns Florida now because they
do.
beat Florida State at the beginning of the year.
No.
And they were ranked 10.
Do I
Georgia
put
Tech
that-
was ranked earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, Uncle Cheech. Until next time, we're going down to the. Are you heading down to the fight? Are you going to the Tyson Paul fight?
I'll be there. I'll see you guys down there.
I'll be
sure
looking
see you
for
on
you.
the floor.
I like. I don't know. It's if Tyson really, if he tries, he can still punch. I don't care how old he is. He can still punch, but I wouldn't bet a dime on it.
No.
No money on that. I was
No money on it.
Absolutely not.
They're wearing
I was going to go
16-ounce
heavy on
gloves.
Tyson, man. Go heavy on Tyson. I love Tyson.
They're wearing 16-ounce gloves. That's like a pillow fight. So, and the rounds are 2 minutes, not 3.
No, but that helps Tyson.
No judges.
That does help. That helps Tyson.
No judges.
No judges.
Oh.
No,
No
there's
judges.
no judge.
Eight
Who's going to
rounds.
score the fight?
That's what I read today. There was not going to be any judges.
I heard it's first to get knocked out.
Who?
No way.
They think it's going to keep fighting.
What is this, Diggstown? What are we doing here?
Just street brawl, Dan.
I like that
Street
movie.
brawl.
That's a great movie. That's a
You're
very
right.
underrated. Diggstown's a very underrated movie. Very under. If no one has seen Diggstown, you got to go watch Diggstown.
Know what I watched today? I watched Tulsa King.
I
I'm
have to watch
caught
the new
up with that now. Got
Yeah.
watch it every Sunday or Saturday, Monday.
Sunday. Oh, you watch it on Monday? I see it on
Today-
Sunday.
I watch it the next day.
Uncle Cheech, you really going to the fight in a mink coat
And top hat.
Ab-
Wearing my best hat.
with a
Hey.
cane, one of those canes?
Yeah, hey, it's gonna be. I think the fight it's gonna be kind of like when Rocky fought, the Hulk. It was
Yes.
underlift. We're gonna go around the ring a little bit. I'll hit you a little bit. You hit me. How's that? I think Jake Paul. That's how it's gonna start out. Then Tyson's
jabs.
and then it's gonna get real. It's gonna get real as soon as someone gets hit with a punch. That's what.
Speaking of canes, I remember when I was a kid, my dad had a cane with a bronze duck head on it.
I remember that. I remember those types of canes out there.
He beat the hell out of some guy with the duck.
Beat him over the head with it.
Beat him with his own cane. Oh. All right. Well, we got to get rolling. We're running late now.
All
We
right,
got to wrap up the AFC, but appreciate it, Uncle Cheech. We'll be seeing you down
tonight.
Appreciate it, Uncle Cheech.
Grazie. Miami.
Miami loses tonight.
Miami loses.
Really?
All right. Enjoy the game.
All right. We'll see.
Grazie.
All right.
Presto.
Well, always good to have Uncle Cheech in here, man.
Yeah, no, he's a bet.
Always good. Especially when he's winning. He's been on a hot streak. He's been on a hot streak.
I was able to pay the bills this past week, so I'm happy.
But you know what happened? I quit betting his lock. Every time I bet the lock, it wouldn't work. And then when I bet the lock, it would lose. So I stopped doing it, and now he keeps winning, so I can't do it anymore. But I tell you one lock of the week, and I would never bet on my team. I think the odds gave me a 6.5 or whatever. I would bet against Dallas and take the line, take everything you can.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay to bet it. See, I got this thing, and I'm not a superstitious person, but I don't bet on my teams just because.
Oh, I don't either.
But against, that's a different story.
Never do.
Yeah. I'll bet them to win. Like I always, every year I throw. Now I'm in the hole real bad. Now I usually throw a few bucks down to win the Super Bowl just to kind of just have fun with it. I did the same thing with the Canes, win national championship. Throw $20 on there. The $20 is like $1,500. But what happens is they will pay you out. So like once Miami gets to the playoffs, if it's good ROI, I may say, you know what, I'll just take that money, be happy, get a few bucks to have a good time and just run with it. So let's finish up the AFC. So you have the AFC leaders up there, Kansas City, Buffalo, Texans, and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh surprised me a little bit for some reason. You have your AFC wild cards, Ravens, Chargers, Broncos. And then you've got the guys that notch below. You've got the Colts, Bengals, and I don't even know why I even put the Jets on there. They're 3-7. It's probably not even worth putting it on there, but they had them in the hunt. So I will start. We did Jimmy last time. So Mikey, give us kind of and say it in the chat. Give us do you see this staying true? The division leaders and with the wild cards, do you see anyone on the outside looking in? Do you see any pretenders in this first 7 that may be dropping out and there's a contender that could be moving up?
Well, I think the obvious one. I think the Ravens jump in front of the Steelers at some point. I just think Steelers are doing good right now, but Ravens they're the Ravens.
Yeah, I would agree.
But my contender, obviously, I would have to go with the Chiefs. I mean, undefeated, somehow always win. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. Bills will stay because that division is just trash. And then my pretender, I'm gonna have to go with the Texans because they're just like the Falcons. You don't know what team you're gonna get. You don't know how they're gonna perform. You're either gonna get a really good Texans team or you're gonna get a really average Texans team. So it depends on how you look. And I know they're injured. I know they lost Diggs. I know Nico Collins is coming back. So maybe that puts a spark in the offense that it needs. But I don't see any.
Yeah, and I would agree. I was talking to a Bills fan today, Ultra, and I got to give credit where credit's due. I'm surprised the Bills have definitely surprised me this year. I thought they would take a step back, but you got to give Josh Allen. You got to give him the credit. He's having MVP type season, and he's doing a lot of good things. So I would definitely agree with you on the Bills, the Chiefs. I do think the Ravens will jump ahead. Do you think the Steelers will stay in playoff? You think they'll make the playoffs?
Oh yeah. I just think I think them and the Ravens will swap places.
Do you think the Bengals can improve enough to catch like the Broncos or Chargers, or do you think these teams are pretty much set?
Yes. I think they'll jump in front of the Broncos. Broncos have been playing good, but do they have a chance to make the playoffs? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So they'll be like 9-8, maybe, and I think the Bengals will be 10-7, and then they'll be in front of them.
Yeah. What do you think, Jimmy? You got the pulse of New York with the Jets and the Bills. What are you thinking?
No, you know what? So again, I said this last week, and I own when I'm wrong. And Josh Allen, he matured this year. I mean, he had a couple turnovers yesterday, but that team is playing well, and they got they lost a lot of players in the offseason. They're doing what they got. I know they're not in a great division, but they're winning. They're taking care of business, and they're not just winning. They're beating the hell out of teams. Okay, so they're just stomping people. Chiefs are the Chiefs. We all know that. Texans are the pretender. I have to agree with you guys on that. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, very interesting. That's tough, man. I've always been a Russell Wilson believer. You guys know that, so it's hard for me to. That's a tough one. I think both of them end up in the playoffs. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. The question is who wins the division. But speaking of the AFC, we got the Bills and Chiefs this upcoming week. Big game.
Great game.
Is that a Sunday night or is that a Monday night? What
4 o'clock.
It's a 4 o'clock.
4:25.
All right. Well, I would have loved that to be a Sunday night.
Yeah,
that'd have been cool. I think Allen. I mean, Allen he's got to be an MVP. Forefront. I know Mahomes, all that, but I mean, what Allen's done, what he's done with that team, with the roster that they have, and he's been, carrying them on their back, and it's going to be interesting to see how them and the Chiefs. Yeah. But I think that this is going to be, would you say, is kind of a preview of the AFC Championship game? Do you think it's going to be the Bills and the Chiefs or do you think the Ravens? Do you think one of these other teams could end up surprising one of them?
I think it's going to be the Chiefs and the Ravens in the championship game. I think the Ravens have a good offense. You have Lamar Jackson, who I think is an MVP favorite right now. He's been playing great all year. I just don't think the Bills can hang with them. And then Bills, their receiving core is Like, they have Keon Coleman, who's a rookie. They have Amari Cooper, who hasn't played yet, I think. He might have played, but I know he's injured. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I think the Ravens I think it's the Chiefs and the Ravens.
In my opinion, it's Buffalo versus question mark. And that comes a long way from where I was back in August. I think it's Buffalo versus question mark in the AFC Championship. I'm shocked at how well they're playing, and again, how whatever. I don't know if maybe Diggs and Josh Allen, maybe there was something there that was just rattling a little bit.
There was some beef.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, that's what I'm thinking: Bills versus question mark.
Yeah, well, I think Chiefs are going to win the whole thing again. I don't know. I hope not. Like, I don't want to see.
I don't see the Chiefs beating the Lions. I'll be honest.
God, it's just
Mahomes hasn't been playing good at all.
If they go to the hasn't. I know, but they go to the Super Bowl and they win 3 in a row. No team has done it. I mean, that'd be pretty. That's got to put him near that GOAT status if he does it. So I guess it's a wide open. I mean, that's what you really see. I mean, there's a lot of teams that could beat each other. You see it week in and week out. So I don't think there is a clear-cut favorite. I think Detroit's probably the one that's on our mind, but people forget. I know they came back and won, but man, that was not a pretty game. I mean, that was not a pretty game.
But the fact they still won it, though, is impressive.
No, I know. But the Chiefs still win. You said they didn't look good, but they still win. So, I mean,
I said Mahomes doesn't look good.
I know, but they still win.
But they're still winning.
All right.
John,
I gotta bring something up before we wrap it up before the Monday Night Football. And I'm really disappointed in Jimmy. Jimmy, I'm disappointed you haven't really brought it up. But our man Frank. Now, Frank's got to be careful what he says because Frank, I got Frank a ticket to the fight, but I haven't sent Frank that ticket yet. So I don't know if I would be making fun of old Mike Tag in fantasy football. You know what I mean? I could probably find someone else to give that ticket to. So Frank, I love you, my man, but you got to be very, strategic. And when you make fun of your boy, I'm always kidding. I love you, Frank. But Jimmy is in first place. He's ranked. What rank are you?
I'm ranked number 1. 1. That means I'm the best. And you bums are taking it easy, right? Fighting these other bums.
So Jimmy,
my team's full of injuries right now.
I don't want to hear that crap about the injuries. I want to know who dropped CMC because I picked him up. That's the best.
Who the hell?
CMC was. I'm glad I didn't say a word.
Ban him from the league.
I said,
who dropped
Who
CMC?
dropped CMC?
I don't know who it was.
I'm running a full-scale investigation.
Nah, we got to investigate that.
3
I'm
weeks ago,
investigating
somebody
that
dropped
right after
CMC, and I
Who
said, wait a
dropped
minute, what?
CMC?
Claim. I'm like, yeah. Nobody
Oh my
caught that
God.
one. You see, you gotta keep your head in the game, like me.
That better not have been cuts.
You gotta have smarts.
So let me just run down for everyone in the Cowboys
Yeah.
cave. If Jimmy is leading the way, you got our man EJ, the defending champion. He is right there with you, tied. And then you've got Easy Dubs is in third place. Mikey Schefter there is in third place.
We're coming back.
The one that has been the Cinderella story came out of nowhere. He started 0-4, and he's been on a 5-game winning streak, and he's beating me this week as my man Frankie, but he wanted to call me out. So, Cuts, if you want to make it up to the fight, I might have an extra ticket for you. I think I might have to sell, get rid of that other. I didn't even give it to you because Frank hurt my feelings. Making fun of me on the show.
Look at Mike Tag. He hurt you with his words.
But we've got Dak Attack right there. We got Cuts by Jones. Everyone's in the middle pack. You got myself. You got the Stallback Stars at 4 and 5. You got Cooking with K9 has been very disappointing. He's 3 and 6. You got Chaotix 3 and 6, and then you got Zeke and Destroy is 3 and 6. So it is it's going to be tough. Doug is right in the mix with Frankie. So we've got a tight race for this special Cuts. And I mean, when you get a championship cut from Cuts by Jones, I mean, it's a piece of art. I mean, you know how that is. Absolutely. That's the only outside here. That's the only hat I wear. I'm too ashamed to wear my Cowboys hat, and my Canes disappointed. I had to go out Sunday. I had to wear my Cuts hat, promote it. People thought I was a barber. I said, no, man, he makes the best cuts in the business. I had to show them all the pictures and all that stuff. So,
no, he does, man.
Yeah, no,
he does. Seriously,
it's great work. But yeah, so that is pretty much. I don't know if I missed anything. I know we're getting past 8. Is there anything else on your guys' mind? I'll start with the guest of the hour, Mikey. Is there any thoughts on this past weekend? Anything you're looking forward to this weekend? Give us some thoughts.
Obviously, I'm looking forward to this weekend. It's gonna be a fun weekend. Seeing Mike Tyson, maybe seeing Wemby and Kyrie. And Luka.
That's gonna be great.
So, this is probably the worst weekend ever when it comes to sports. But hopefully, we look forward, and hopefully, we get back to the positive and winning, and finally doing something, especially with the Canes. Hopefully, the Cowboys get a dub this weekend. So we'll see.
It'd be nice. I mean, you to get the Tyson fight, maybe go watch the Mavericks, and then you see the Cowboys get a win. That would wrap up a great
blessing.
We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have some good times with Cowboys Nation, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's as bad as the Cowboys are, I still love going there. I still love hanging with the fans and having a good time. So I mean, the thing is, it's probably less stress. There's not a lot of high expectations on Monday night, but I do have expectations on that fight, that Tyson fight. I cannot wait. Yeah, Cuts is going to be in the house as well for not the title. You're not coming up early for the Tyson fight, but I believe he's coming up Saturday. And I'll get with you. Cuts, DM me or message me. We might have something on Sunday. I'll get with you on, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Jimmy, what do you got? What do you any thoughts on looking back or looking forward?
No, I go. First of all, the fight's going to be very interesting and lots of fun. Lots of fun. But that being said, no, you know what? I'm looking forward to the Falcons rebounding this weekend. Look, and like I said, Denver, good team. I'm not taking away from them. I know there's a little rival between myself and one of our close friends, but I think we rebound, take care of our business, and go in the bye week with another win.
I like it. It's going to be good football weekend. Every weekend of football is a great weekend. The Canes don't play. That's unfortunate, but they'll be able to get back on track and they'll be back at the I always want to say the OB, but it's going to be at the Hard Rock, and we'll get things going. So for Jimmy, for Mikey, we had a great time in the chat. We love the banter. We love some good shit talking. Don't ever take offense to anything. It's all in fun. Hopefully you guys, I know everyone here has a great sense of humor, so there's no worry about that. So we appreciate it. Going to be live on Wednesday, back to normal time with with Kelly K9. We'll be talking Cowboys. I don't know what the hell to talk about. I'll be honest with you. It's going to be a tough show, but we'll figure it out.
Do it live.
And then more importantly, hit that thumbs up on your way out. If you're watching on X, head over to YouTube. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that like button. That just it does a great job for the show. And you guys, make sure you hit that alert bell. You see your boy. I've been giving a little thoughts early in the morning. You know, I'm getting up early with the time change, so I've been dropping some videos. So we'll be doing more and more of that, having a great time. So definitely hit that alert. Appreciate all the support in the cave. Appreciate all the love that you give Jimmy, myself, Mikey, Kelly, Greg, the whole crew. It's a tough year if you're a Cowboys fan, but this is therapeutic. We're in this thing together. We'll get past it. And maybe Jimmy's Falcons can carry the mantle to give us something to cheer about because it's family in the cave, and that would make me happy to see him do it. So until next time, you guys have a great one. We'll see you guys. Peace out.
Ciao.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.